So today I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these ear warmers. They're super simple and great for winter. So what you're going to need is some chunky wool. I use chunky, you can use any weight because everything's made to measure. This is what I prefer just because it works up quicker. You'll need a darning needle and I use a 6.5 hook for chunky wool, but again, just whichever hook is best for whichever yarn you're using. You'll need some scissors and a tape measure. Okay, so to start, we're going to chain 12. 1, 2, 3. 12, and then we're going to do 1 for turning. So that's your starting chain, and that's going to be the width of your headband. And that's measuring at about 4 inches. So if you're using a lighter yarn, like a double knit, just get it to about 4 inches and however many chains that is. But for my chunky yarn, it's about 12 and then 1 for turning. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work back down the chain in all 12 stitches and we're going to do single crochets in the back loops only. So I've got the back loop only there and I'm going to single crochet into the next one, back loop only. And by working into the back loops only, it's going to give your headband a little bit of stretch so it's a bit more comfortable when you're wearing it and taking it on and off. Should be 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I always like to check after that first work into the chain, just because if I've gone wrong here, then the whole thing's going to be wrong. So I've got 12 stitches. I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and then again, single crochets in the back loop only. Should have 12 stitches. I'm going to chain 1, turn, and again just single crochets all the way along in the back loops only. And that's all you do. You just keep going until your headband is the length that you need it to be, and I'll tell you that exact length once I reach it. Again, making sure that we're going in the back loops only because that stretch is going to make it easier to go on and off. But also if you are selling these, then they're going to fit a lot more people if they're a bit stretchy, because if you get someone who has a slightly smaller head or a slightly bigger head, then you know that it's going to fit them. Into that last one, chain 1, turn, and back along we go. I'm going to keep doing this until I reach the length that I need, and then I will check back in. Okay, so I have done a total of 49 rows. And my headband is measuring 21 inches when it's about 20 inches when it's flat. But then what we need is the stretch. So it's actually stretching to about 28. The way that I have always measured this is I make it so that it wraps around the head and then do another 5 or so rows. So this would fit around the head, but we need to account for the bit that's going to be sewn and twisted at the front. So I always just add an extra 5 rows. So to finish off, I'm going to just chain 1, and then I'm going to cut my string, and I'm going to leave a tail for sewing. I'm always a bit unsure of how much to leave, to be honest. So I just like eyeball it and go, yeah, that's good. And we can move this out of the way. And then I'm just going to pull that through, and that's knotted nicely there. Next, I'm going to take my darning needle and I'm just going to thread it with that long tail that we just left. This is the magic bit for how you get your twist at the front. So you're going to line them up so that the edge lines up with the middle and this edge lines up with this middle. And then you're going to fold this bit in. So you see that this one is making a C, and you're going to fold this one so that this one is also making a C. So what you end up with is like 2 C's interlocking like this. And then all I do is I stitch it through. So my first one usually doesn't catch that middle section. but you're just going to go backwards and forwards, trying to stay in the top few stitches, just because that way it's just a bit neater and you avoid getting like chunkiness. There's not an exact science to it, you're just stitching it together. And then when I get to the end, I like to just do one that wraps around like this. There we go. And then if you're like me and you might be a bit paranoid, you might want to go back along, but you don't have to. These for a few years. I just always do because I've never had any issues with them, but I do always double sew it. It's just for peace of mind more than anything. And then I'm at the end, so I'm just going to do one that goes around the edge like this, and then one more just to fasten it off. And I just catch a loop like that, put my needle through the loop and it's in a knot, and then I just weave that end in anywhere it'll go like this and snip it off. And then you'll also have this tail from where you started. You just want to weave that in because that one is already secure. So just weave that in. And snip it off. Okay, so this is the bit that we've just sewn, and all you're going to do is turn it inside out and you've got your twist. Okay, so I didn't mention at the beginning, I'm using the Hayfield Bonus Chunky. This is just like it was £3 at my local wool shop, and it's in the colour Cornflower. I just have a thing about this colour at the minute, so I wanted to make myself one in this colour. I'm also going to make my daughter a hat that's the same colour that matches. I might do a little tutorial on how I make my hats as well. But that's it, that's all you need for doing your twisted headband. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.